Appalachian Outreach started in 1984, and it was founded by Jim Wilson along with two Carson-Newman students. And they basically saw a need in the community, beginning with minor repairs, wheelchair ramps, cleaning, yard work, things of that nature. And then it has grown to what we have today. We have the home repair ministry, which has continued. We serve a 4-county area, Jefferson, Granger, Cocke, and Hamlin County, through individuals volunteering their time, their resources, and their talents and going out and working on families' homes. We basically serve as a conduit for people who have a need and people who have a willing heart to go out and meet that need. The Ministry Center, we moved into this location about 13 years ago, and we provide clothing, good, gently used or new clothing to families in the community, as well as food, toys for their children, linens for the families, books, educational type items, basic necessities that for some reason these families are not able to purchase.
One of the parts of the ministry is a firewood ministry, and we have teams that come and split firewood, and we have young kids up to older retirees that enjoy working in the firewood. And you think, well, what does this firewood ministry do? Well, it helps heat people's homes. We can provide food, we can provide clothing, but if they don't have the means to pay the electric bill, then the firewood will help heat their home.
I think we try to go above and beyond, which is not just meeting the physical need, but meeting the emotional and spiritual need.
Something that really grabbed my attention about Appalachian Outreach is they're such a crucial staple in this community. They impact tons and tons of people, whether that's through the Ministry Center here or Samaritan House or home repair during the summer.
And so what we're doing is we're taking those willing volunteers, those willing servants, and letting them make a difference in the families that we encounter.
One thing that I always see here that always keeps me coming back is families coming in with their children, and seeing these kids that are brought up in these households, that are brought up in the poverty line, and they live in that. And I want those children to be able to, make it. And that's one thing that really keeps me coming back and keeps me doing this, because I want to be able to help their family to help that child.
Recognizing that they've done nothing on their own to become homeless, but yet they're in that situation. And so we do a lot of extra things to make sure that the kids are taken care of.
And skill is not a requirement, because to serve Jesus, it doesn't take a whole lot of skill, it just takes a willing attitude.
So when volunteers come in and they're willing to give that their all, and maybe not get the pat on the back or have anyone say, oh, look what you did, but to know that day after day after day that work had to happen in order for all the other support that this ministry has to have to sustain this ministry. It's just tremendous.
The Samaritan House Family Ministries is our shelter for single women and families. We have approximately 50+ families that will live there every single year. Many of these families are single women with children. It's a warm, safe environment, and so whenever they come, a lot of times they're a bit discouraged and have sometimes even developed a sense of hopelessness.
Joe and Regina came in May, and their story was that he was injured on the job a couple of years ago, was not able to find a job that he could do because of his disability, applied for disability during that time, and they lost everything. They lost their home, their car, everything.
We didn't know what we was going to do. And when we came here, it changed everything.
And when we come around that curve right there, I couldn't believe it. I looked at my wife, I said, is this a homeless shelter?
They came into my office and said, we've been praying about this, and why can't we work here?
Once we got here, I mean, it became family. This is my home.
They have such compassion for the homeless, and they feel a role there that none of the other staff can do. And so they're very valuable right now at the Samaritan House.
When people come to me, and they're crying, and because I did it too, I sat out there and cried like a baby. Scared to death, what are we going to do? And now people come to me crying. and I can say, I know what you're going through, because I do. And to be able to help somebody else, you know, to be able to give that back, it's the best feeling in the world, you know. I just thank the Lord for it.
So we do want to tell people there is always hope, and we want this not to be creating dependency, but helping people to go and do the right thing and know that God has a plan for their lives. And then when we can see that come back, the people who have been helped here want to give back, that's a very, very special thing, great blessing.
One of the things about the Samaritan House is it's a beautiful example of how the community has come together, how a group of God's people, His servants, if they're willing to sacrifice their time, their talents, and their resources, what a huge accomplishment that can be made. God has put together people who are willing to work in each of these areas that meet people where they're at, and that's what we need to do, is to be able to reach out to somebody, not in a judgmental way or not in a way that would say, you know, whenever you look this way or whenever you dress this way, then we're going to love on you, but to be able to say, you know, we're here and we recognize that by the grace of God we're able to serve you versus being served.